Let's give them something to talk about. I see the energy running out. I got a planet to run around. Okay.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that one was a good one. This is like we're 65 episodes in, we're just kind of figuring it out
just now.
If you're starting a podcast or anybody that has started a podcast, they said, and Savannah said this, you literally just start. Like you think you get everything in line and everything perfect. Don't just start, because you're going to learn so much all along the way.
It's kind of like starting fitness.
Well, right.
Just start.
Myself and Wes Pyatt, we have a podcast that we are only about 12 episodes into. There's a couple of beta tests in there, and we call ourselves the third space because we're a bunch of dirty hippies. And first we were doing YouTube, and I learned very fast that I am absolutely atrocious at editing anything and just don't have the bandwidth, the time.
So you edit? You do all that? You do editing on the podcast?
God, not anymore. I just go to Instagram Live.
Go live,
take
yeah.
a picture where we're both smiling, and then I post that as our cover. And if you want to listen to it, it's there for you. If not, it's just a bunch of CrossFitters being knuckleheads.
We learned that too. The people that are doing the edited podcast, my hat's off to them. And everyone thinks, well, it's brave for these guys to go live and do these things live. No, it's not. It's easier.
Way easier.
Way easier. And people will accept you for who you are. Now, interestingly, Savon's done thousands of podcasts now, and his podcast is the first 5 minutes of almost every single podcast is technology issues that he's dealing with.
Yeah.
You guys took a couple thousand in, and all of his, he has all these people that dial in or that watch, and they're all like patient with him. Well, try this. No, it sounds like crap still. Turn it up. No, turn it down. No, you're youth.
How many do we redo? Stop. All right, let's just start it over. Do it again.
Yeah, Brad, we had a couple where we did the whole thing. We did the whole podcast and no sound was being recorded. No sound was being. We heard each other, but no one else.
Last week I was real frustrated. I recorded entire classes with a microphone on, with it plugged into my phone, everything so that I could get coaching evaluations from like DT, Pat Barber, and like just really work toward my L4.
Mm-hmm.
One time I didn't turn the mic on, so it's me coaching in complete silence. It's just like and then another one, like I was doing like this push-up variations, drills, kind of the bus stop technique. And all you can see is me talking. So there's no cueing that they could give me, no feedback. Another one, I had filmed too many of these classes in the row, and I was doing so good. I was like, this is going to be the one that I send. And my phone said, because I had like 5 1-hour videos all of a sudden, and my phone said, no more data. We turn you off. So like halfway through the class, it just stops recording, and I was like, forget it. So I'm going to take a day or two off from that project and readdress it later on this week.
Oh man, it's
a complete shit show.
It is. Which would bring us to the Open.
It's not that bad. They did a good job.
I guess it will, because I do want to talk about that's one of the struggles we face with the Open. Everybody says, well, video should be the separator, and unfortunately, the challenges with doing video recordings are real.
Yeah,
and there's people that have gotten in our gym that have gotten halfway through the workout and their phones die.
Yep.
Or
you get a phone call because you didn't put it on
airplane mode. One was
not have enough space on your phone.
One was that poor girl at CrossFit Pleasanton, that teen athlete that though she used that program WODproof, and WODproof hiccuped in the workout.
Oh, shit.
It stalled the recording and then restarted, so her time was off on it, and they couldn't use it for validation.
That's terrible.
Yeah, so the technology ain't there yet.
We have a trio of Dans: Dan Holmes, Dan Mass, Dan Fishman, and they are the tier below, where they're the ones that are signing up for the competition and they're just missing. So all of their stuff really for them, their fitness journey really matters. So we record them. They're always like just outside of NorCal Classic, just outside of Wadapalooza. So we do a lot of this stuff, and we have systems in place now. Like how we lay down the tripod that I'm on right now, how we tape it so that it doesn't move. These are the markers. These
set
are
up cones so nobody walks in front of it.
multiple people looking over the actual documents themselves, reading the fine print, multiple videos. It is a whole process to get these like would-be regional styled athletes onto a platform that brings them joy. And I'm doing it like as their coach. Like I'm both coaching them up on strategy, or they don't want to hear my strategy, or some variation of that. And then 3, 2, 1, go. And all of a sudden I'm not their coach. I am their like media person.
Yeah.
And so
Brian, by the way, is the owner of Mid-State CrossFit in Merced, California. I wrote on the original notes, Modesto, despite get this, despite putting up his logo on the graphic, because I created the graphic, and on his logo it says Merced, and I still wrote Modesto. So
the thing about the Central Valley is it's the same place over and over again. So you'll have like a really small place, like for example, like pick a really small town like Oakhurst, or like a cool spot, right?
Right.
You just like squeeze those together, and that's like an Atwater. And then you like take 2 Atwaters, and you're like the same intersections, same fast food joints, same truck stops. You squeeze those 2 together. That's a Merced. Take 2 Merced, squeeze those together. That's a Modesto. And all of a sudden, you put a couple of Modestos, you got a Stockton, you got a Bakersfield. But it's the same place. Like it's all agriculture. It's all hardworking, blue collar folk. They lean a little right. You got a nice like Mexican, Hispanic like base population, and it's the Valley's been good to me. I'm originally from New Bedford, Massachusetts, which is just a little bit south of Boston. And when I moved here in 2011, it was like mid recession depression. Like Merced got hit hard socioeconomically more than just the average type, right? Because they just had there was no buffer in their economy. It just like it bottomed out. And they, with the UC coming in, they thought there was going to be this big growth, but it just wasn't there. The population wasn't there. The historical cornerstone businesses weren't there. So when I moved here, it was like, closed doors, cardboard, all that jazz.
What year? That was 2008, 2009, 2010, something like that.
I moved here. I started the move. It was like a month-long road trip. It was dope. On July 4th, 2011. So like we were driving down the I-9. Yeah, the I-9, that I-95 on the East Coast. It was like fireworks all throughout a night drive with my my would-be wife. She was my fiance at the time, and so it was it's been a cool adventure. But the Valley's been good to me. People be like, "Why Merced?" And I'm like, "Well, my wife's from here, so that's a good reason." And then 2, it's like it really worked out well for us. I worked as a paramedic for the past 18 years. I'm now a full-time affiliate owner. And so I'm blessed to have that opportunity of a career change. And
how long ago did you purchase your affiliate?
I purchased my affiliate, really excellent time to buy a small business, January 1st, 2020. So it was like just perfect to get like the most, the expensive version of the business, while also just 12 weeks later, we closed the doors.
Right into the shit show,
man.
Yeah. So
okay, so you mentioned that to me out at when we met at CrossFit Games this year, and I just those things stick with me. Yeah, because if you can get this guy right here, Brian's going to be Survivor. Like he's like a cockroach, right? So when all the crosses are gone, he's going to be alive and thriving, man, and growing.
For sure, man.
Because if he got through that, right, as your starter kit, then wow. Yeah, what playbook did you read for that?
Yeah, we were all so my wife and I we're like old CrossFitters now at this point. We started CrossFitting when I was 23, 24 years old. I'm 36 now. Like I feel 36 too.
Right.
And when we started, we back then knew that we wanted to be part of like the beginning of something. The affiliate that we had joined, they had already had their established like core group that this is the ride or die. Mm-hmm. And we were like, we wanted that, but we weren't in it. And that is totally okay. That is totally okay to be the new member that's just passionate about it. But like, you're not in the bubble, man. You're not in that inner circle. That's totally appropriate. So when Mid-State started, we wanted to be part of something original, the beginning, the start of it. So even though I wasn't the owner at the time, I drew the mural that's outside. We helped lay down the floors. We started, cleaning this. It's an old warehouse. We operate out of an old beat up warehouse, but we felt ownership. So when it was time to buy it, when that opportunity revealed itself, that like, hey, we can have Midstate, we thought that we were just going to have to convince our members, our would-be members, that, hey, Uncle Brian and Aunt Gabby, we're still us, right? Like this is not like a changing of the guards to somebody completely new and different. No, like we're part of the thing. So we just had to convince people that culture wouldn't change and that like vibes wouldn't change, even though we have changed culture in several different ways. We just built on what already exists. For example, the mission statement, the logo, the colors.
Let me let me interrupt you there, because this is a common theme that we heard with James Cooper, who purchased recently CrossFit north of Acaville.
Now it's trial built
CrossFit. But one of the things that he did was to go in and upgrade the facilities. First thing he did, he painted it, right? Just make it fresh. And it's something that we do as an affiliate. I'm constantly improving. Every few years, I'll maybe put a different color paint in. I'll upgrade the lobby.
Platform is up.
We don't like going into the we feel comfortable in the places we like going to, but when you upgrade it, it gives people a sense of pride, and it makes you feel good to be there. You change the environment a little bit, and it's like, oh, okay, it's like makes you feel fresh and clean.
I think people really underestimate. People really underestimate like the stackability. What was the new gym? Trial built. So trial built comes in super low hanging fruit. Clean everything. Clean the roof. Clean the ceiling. Clean the corners. Throw in some extra stall mats. That's all. But to begin, that's what we did. We just refurbished the barbells and cleaned the gear and tightened up the rowers, and just that was like our very, very, very first step, because it needed to fit.
That doesn't almost cost you anything.
Yeah,
right.
And
dude, how many so we just put it. I just upgraded the platforms in here, and it was basically a full day project or 2 half-day project. Came in, did the floors, but the comments I've gotten from members are just huge. Yeah, people posted online, big long comments about how amazing the My Gym continues to invest back in the business, and I'm thinking, doesn't everybody do this?
In a perfect world,
but especially if you're acquiring, and what Brian's done here, like he just kind of shifted the mindset right away of his member base, going, oh, this guy's going to come in and make things better. That's immediately what people think. You do that the first weekend, people think, oh, he's interested in making this place better, so he values us, the members. It sets a tone right away. That's cool, dude.
It was a gross job. It was really uncomplicated. I took the leaf blower and aimed up, and I just made a gigantic mess. But then we took that, all the cobwebs gone just instantly. Not a fun project. Wear goggles, wear a mask. Throw some face pods in. But we just went to work, and it was immediately. You just walked in. You're like, you don't notice the cobweb until you notice that the cobweb is gone. So I just really.
True. I like that. Yeah,
it's a good plan.
And what about so you had to close right away? Did you lose? Did you lose a portion of your customer base right away? How did you guys get through those first 3 months of the pandemic?
So we did a couple of things right away. I over communicated, and so we called it instead of State of the Union, we called it the State of Midstate. And I would just get onto Zoom and I just lay it people straight. Like nothing was hidden. I wasn't going to tell anybody a lie about anything, because I thought that the number one problem we were going to have is buy-in on Gabby and Brian. But we suddenly had a boogeyman. We had a boogeyman called COVID-19 that we could all rally against. So So we did lose about 30% revenue, which was a big hit. We had a business loan. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. We loved CrossFit, but we were not business owners, not yet, and still growing in that role, and owning that. And so we just went onto Zoom, and we did some silly workouts, and we did a couple of fundraisers, and we one of my accountant, actually is the accountant for the business and my private, he sent me this email, and he said da 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 Mid-State Ohana. And so I just took Nick's words, and it just resonated with me. Like, yeah, this is my family. Like, I am from Boston, Massachusetts, essentially. I don't know anybody. I don't have any family. I've got a Portuguese family that is, we're tight, but it's not mine. It's my wife's. So when I go to CrossFit, these people, I have much more deep and intimate conversations with the people at my affiliate than I'll ever do at the Thanksgiving we just had with, family. And so we all just rallied together. We're like, we're not going to let the thing die. I gave out every piece of equipment, $30,000 at the time. We probably got double that now worth of equipment, but not including inflation. And then we just rallied, and we made T-shirts, and I had a local artist down in Los Angeles that I know make this dope ass like Mama Bear logo, and we still use it to this day. And the whole Ohana thing sort of took on a life of its own that really I don't even know if I'm actually in charge of anymore. People just own that shit. And
awesome.
And so what it created was a rally cry.
Right. You took a situation that literally everyone would have understood if you walked away from it.
Yeah.
Like everyone would have said, oh, yeah, boy, that's the worst, man. You did the right thing walking away. And you turned it into now what is like a brand for your right. affiliate, right? Mm-hmm. Or, the core value for your affiliate, which is really cool.
At the time, I was still operating as a helicopter paramedic. So we would take the ICU patients that were COVID positive back when the boogeyman was real. Now we know that now you can fight chronic disease with CrossFit and actually completely eliminate COVID comorbidities, and your mortality and morbidity rate if as a CrossFitter for COVID-19 is 0. And so I was transporting these patients. All the while, I was like, if I could have just gotten you 2, 3, 4, 5 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, you'd never have ended up in my helicopter, intubated on multiple pressors. So I was like this, I was having this weird, like, I'd go to the gym and coach, and then I would go deal with the pandemic, and then I'd go to the gym and coach, or I'd coach them
back
online.
And forth throughout that time.
Yeah, it was a really weird, like mental like gymnastics where like we would be like isolated, and we were closed for 75 days. We opened sooner than California wanted, but due to just the nature of Merced, our sheriff, our general governing body, they weren't going to mess with us. It wasn't Santa Clara. We're not LA.
Wasn't Contra Costa County.
Yeah,
we're not Contra Costa County. Like this is different here, and it's still California. Don't get me wrong. We're still California, but it's not apples to apples.
Yeah, it's more of a we got to get back to work.
How many days were we shut down?
Well, we were originally.
Zoom wise, like before we went to open up outside.
3 months.
3 months. Okay.
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah, we were 75 days. So that's really not that. That's about the same. We went to go exercise outside, and then the fires came out, I think, and that's when everything was orange. Like
Armageddon.
real. Yeah.
Dante's Peak scene.
When those pictures of like San Francisco were like weird, that's here. That's Yosemite, right? Just right over there. I'm pointing my finger west, and it's just east, and it's just right over there.
So you guys after you opened back up, then you had to deal with the smoke too.
Oh yeah.
We were operating. Yeah, we were operating outdoors. Remember, we got permission to operate outdoors, and it was just this dense smoke.
I remember coming in a 5 a.m. class, and it was like ashes coming from the sky. I'm like, guys, just go home. There's nothing positive that's going to come out of working outside today. Just deal with it.
Yeah. I know for sure. My coaches were just like, I know what Brian said.
Yeah,
I know that happened. Like they know you know who I'm talking about.
Game time decision.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Brian. We absolutely pulled out all the stallant mats, and we put up all the lights, and we did all the things. It was a cluster. But we did it, and we all did it, because why would we be having this conversation today if we didn't?
No, and it was for us to. It was almost in your case, it was like the foundation for getting started, and it kind of set the tone for your values, the mission, and values for the future. For us, it was a rejuvenation of those things.
Yeah,
It happened at a point, we're what, 15 years in or something like that. And it happened at a point in our career where it kind of like, it taught us the value of everything that we gained from CrossFit, all the core values of CrossFit, and then we also learned really just reinforced the value of our community that came up and supported us throughout that whole process. Yeah. It was just a complete validation. It was like an instant validation. It was painful. It was hard, but I look back on it now and I don't think I would trade it.
Yeah.
Because we are a better gym. We're a way better gym than we were before it. Better gym.
For sure.
We gained so many people back because they were just scared. That's totally
yes. Oh, yeah. They came back. Yeah. No, and rightfully scared.
Came back and some, because a lot of people also were going to other gyms that were staying shut down. It was like, we need to keep our fitness up. And coming to Diablo, like, we still had some pretty strict protocols just to, help make people feel safe. But I mean, I feel like we just took off after that.
Yeah, we did. No question.
I remember we would cap classes, and we'd have like little gaps in the classes so that we could have like ins and outs. And I remember chewing butt. I remember getting at the front of the class because people would come into class because they pined for human connection, and they would just come in like more than the like, Brian ain't gonna kick me out, and they were right. But I walked in the room and there was like 30 people in the room, and it was like the middle of the pandemic. I sort of regret it now. And I was like, guys, I like turned off the music. I was like, guys, like, I want to be safe too. And I have my opinions about masks too, but like, I also know the science behind this, like the epidemiological science behind this thing. And as of right now, like, we're being sketchy. Like, we shouldn't have this many people in here. And I regret it now, and I remember.
Oh, I know, let's couch that with, you're on a life flight helicopter with people that were near death from COVID,
dealing with it firsthand.
I talked, where I had that. My reality was having really good conversations with nurses that were coming to Diablo, that were having to work in the ICU, and them telling me the stories. And I'm glad I look back on that too. And I'm glad I did, because that kept me from being like, just dangerous in terms of the contact with our members. Like, we were responsible, and I owe that to those very good conversations I had with nurses about the reality of it. Because you can lean too much one way too.
I had a nurse look at me, and she's a member here. And she goes, "Hey, when was the last time you cleaned your PVC pipes?" And the answer at that time was never. We had never cleaned PVC pipes. That I had cleaned bars.
Jamie's looking at me right now. Jamie's looking at me right now. We're like, oh shit.
And I was like,
"Oh, that's gonna go on the front desk like to-do list, right?"
I was like, ooh. I cleaned them yesterday.
Yeah,
I had never cleaned a PVC pipe. It might have been like, 2009. Like, I'd never cleaned a PVC. Like,
oh my god,
who does that?
Nobody, no one. God, it was a real chin check though. I was like, you're thinking about things outside the box.
Yeah.
The thing we literally touched, like, hey, get some pass-throughs in. Let's do some around the world. We're gonna do a progression. Like, everyone's class after class after class, and I'm like,
shit.
Yesterday, just lied to that woman. Sorry.
Oh my god,
that's pretty good.
It is.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah.
And on that subject, or so related to that subject, my wife Yvonne, who runs essentially the day-to-day operations of the gym, and she has all of the processes kind of outlined we have people that work out on our front desk area, and then they're charged with, a lot of cleaning responsibilities, and it's kind of a long checklist. And it took us a lot of years to develop. We never really had those. It was intuitive. I was, always, I like being organized and clean, and I like to fix things up. And my wife always, being organized and clean, same thing. But since we put those processes in place over the last 3 or 4 years,
and having somebody available to do that, too.
That's well said. And having someone available, it's been great. That the gym looked, and again, that's another thing I get compliments on. that we didn't get compliments on, which leads me to believe like, oh, I bet we didn't get compliments for a reason.
Yeah.
And now we are. And that's that added value
Yeah.
that the owner cares. That's all. If nothing else, yes, it's healthy and it's good for the gym, but also it makes an indication the owner is vested in this and they care. Do you have those processes outlined? You strike me as that kind of guy that's got it all kind of written down.
So I was blessed on this particular subject. We have a doctor of physical therapy on staff. He's an L2, and he's also he owns Cali Performance. He operates here right out of Mid-State CrossFit, and he created with pictures. And this is what it looks like when it's done. This is the checklist. This is the estimated how long it'll take to complete this task. And he made that all for us, and that's a huge blessing. So shout out to Matt for
my wife.
My wife's gonna be all about it.
She's told me to do that. She goes, "Will you take a picture of that and make that like?"
Oh, really?
Yes.
So she's already told you to do
Yeah,
that.
She's told me to do that. Damn it.
So we have the same problem.
That's
that everyone
great.
else does.
Yeah.
Dumbbells. Like, where do the dumbbells go in what order? Because essentially I have 9 million 35s and 50s, and like, what do you do with the other miscellaneous dumbbell numbers? And so it just turns into, I'm just going to put this here because I don't know where it goes.
Yeah.
But for the coaching staff or whoever's doing cleaning on that day, it just allows them to take the extra minute to be like, because I don't particularly expect my members to do an incredibly good job of reorganizing the kettlebells.
Correct.
Like, I just like, that's not, I'm not there to chirp on them. And so just thank you for putting it nearby. Good job. You nailed it. And so then
at least you get it off the floor.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, thank you for putting it almost away. You did a great job. And so
what's enough?
Yeah, like, but to be fair to them, right? So you got 15s, 18s, 26s, 44s, 53s, 70s, right? Like, just put them. They go over there. They know that, and so it's on us to be like, all right, let me just organize this a little bit, because and not after every class on kettlebell day. At the end of the day, the next following day, be intelligent about the use of your labor, and so we do a pretty good job of keeping it clean. I just had to redo the. Do you guys have horse stall mats, or are you guys floor to floor?
Horse stall.
Yeah, so we're at that time of year where it starts to shrink, and in the summertime it starts to expand, and we have it kind of like parquet, so it sort of like sticks and locks a little bit better. And so every season, twice a year, I have to sledgehammer these things back so they're nice and organized. And so, but that's dumb shit like that if you do, you don't just let it lie, that people notice.
Yeah. I think it was Freakonomics that did a story, the broken window syndrome. And it was based on Detroit, and in there.
Yeah, I love this.
When everyone left the area, like they left these neighborhoods or the industrial areas, right? Then there was no one in there. What happened was that people started to vandalize it, right? And then people would, squatters would come in, windows broken, the whole 9 yards, like just and then it would just go in this rapid decline. And what they found out was they went in and cleaned it up. So the city went in and cleaned it up, and then they mandated to business owners, hey, if something breaks, you got to fix it. So they called it the broken window syndrome. They fixed all the windows. And as soon as they started doing it, the crime in those areas and vandalism dropped dramatically.
Interesting.
And I think there's something similar to that within a small business and within a CrossFit affiliate. If you let it linger, then that becomes acceptable. And then then they push the edge of the margin with something else. Then they leave the barbells out, right? Or they stack the weight plates, where they shouldn't be stacked because it doesn't matter, right? Because the kettlebells are a fucking mess. Well, then I'll put the plates over here. It doesn't really matter. So it's like it starts to cascade, and then it becomes overwhelming for an owner. And
we have been working really hard on this feedback thing, this closed loop feedback, both up and down the food chain. And so there's a couple of books that I've been using to try to guide my thought process. The first one's called Radical Candor. And so forgive me, I forget the author's name, but Radical Candor brings into focus how to talk to people, or how you speak so that you can have some sort of like authority that people will listen to. So it's not about being aggressive for no reason when you're trying to be candid with somebody, but you have to have the emotional intelligence to be able to say like, hey, this is how I want class to go, and this is why I want class to go.
Mm-hmm.
Or this is the reason we're keeping it organized, and this is how we want to keep it organized because. So I've been in the business of the last few weeks of the tough conversations, be it with my coaching staff or with athletes, so that we can just keep culture. And I'm not trying to find these communications, but my base instinct is to not want to have those conversations because they're hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're like, hey, like, you can't do extra on the main floor when there's class going on because class comes first, because one of our mission statements is class comes first. So that's just how it has to be. And it might bother somebody, but the goal is that the classroom experience is the most important thing. Or, hey, the way you're conducting your
100%.
class, be it on and make it binary, presence and attitude, group management, seeing, correcting, demonstration, teaching, whatever it is that we're trying to get you to get good at. I want to have these conversations regularly and often, both me for my own coaching and development and otherwise. So for example, at our coaches meeting, I do scorecards and evaluations all the time. My coaching development is like if it's not my number one job, it's like 1A. Like, I'm here to be the mayor of Midstate, and I'm here to make the team freaking awesome. And so one of the feedbacks I got was rushing the feedback. So one of my coaches was like, hey, in the middle of the meeting, in front of 10 people, he goes, hey, I got feedback for you. I was like, give it to me. I want it. And he was like, you're rushing, and in front of other people, the feedback that you're trying to give because we're in between classes. And I get it, but like, can we find a way that we can do this 10-minute conversation, but I can choose whether or not I want it in private or not, as he's saying that, or it's in a way that's not rushed. It's not like contrived. You're not trying to da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. No, it's rather like, this is all the good things. Because most of my coaches, most of the time, are doing just a world-class job. But you got to sometimes be like, hey, you did a progression. That's a win. But the way this progression could have gone from good to great is XYZ. You're getting the check mark. You did the yes. But how can we then improve that so that you're seeing movement better, so that you're able to see both in the static and the dynamic? This is how this particular joint works and why you're seeing a muted hip. You just don't know that's what that's called. Mm-hmm. And so these things take time to really develop into, I've got a lawyer, I've got a CHP officer for a coach, I've got a pool guy for a coach, I've got a young college student for these people, this is their passion job. Right. And I'm trying to teach a lawyer how femur to hip to lower lumbar connection matters in a hip hinge or, an explosive dynamic movement. Meanwhile, this is not their gig, man. No one's getting rich selling burpees, especially not the adjunct educator. And so like,
I'm going to use that quote, by the way. I'll be sure to. That's a great. No one's getting rich selling burpees.
No. And so, So these are the types of things that we're doing internally that I think just really sets us apart. Like why people, to be candid, are inviting me onto podcasts, because everybody's like, what the hell's actually going on down there in Merced, California? Because that makes no sense. Why would anything be happening in Merced, California? And it's just because we give a shit. Honestly, I just think it's because we give a shit.
Yeah, you give a shit. You're cleaning cobwebs, dude. And you're doing it with your coaches. I really like the feedback that the coach gave you, because I'm guilty of that as well. Like I'll toss out feedback. I tossed one out as I was walking into this podcast. It's one of my coaches. I require our coaches to do 2 classes a week. Strongly recommended, right? You need to be in at least 2 classes a week, because then you're part of the community, you understand what's going on here. And it had filtered back to me that hopefully she won't listen to this podcast.
She probably not listening.
It filtered back to me that she was hurt.
But if she is,
she wanted me to know through her manager that I was to, hopefully understood that she was so busy with her other job. She's a cheer coach and she's really good. She's nationally recognized, that with her busy with her other job that she might not be able to make the 2 classes a week. Meanwhile, the last 3 days in a row, I've come into the gym and she's working out in open gym, like 3 days in a row. And I see it on Instagram, working out with our members in open gym. And so me wanting to give that feedback,
drive-by feedback.
I did drive-by feedback. I said, hey, how's that 2 class a week thing going when she's in open gym doing a workout? And she goes, oh, well, yesterday I was, and I completely ignored her. Like she started
Complete
to give me like literally drove by, wouldn't even acknowledge that she was talking and give me a response. And then the last thing I heard is the door was closing. Okay, I'll do 2 classes a week.
Well, but you're setting an expectation that allows you to drive culture forward. You're not doing it because I said so. You're doing it because as a coach in a class, both you can give the feedback to that coach, because it doesn't have to be complicated and it doesn't have to be bad. It can be,
oh, that's right.
That was a kick-ass kettlebell progression. Like, I just love how you really focused in on how to actually pick up a kettlebell correctly. Like, that was so refreshing, whatever the hell you say. And that's all they need to know, because what they're gonna do now, even though their passion and their profession is a cheer coach, now they're like, Craig liked the way I did that thing. You know what they're going to do forever now? That's thing.
Yeah.
So coaching coaches in the positive is so powerful, because you're dad, right? And they want dad's approval. And if you're giving it to them, and then you're layering on maybe like some compliment sandwich with like, hey, really great job on that kettlebell progression, but like maybe we could just take a little bit of the way, and you could have like snuck in like a nice little cool down. Have you ever, like, or whatever, I don't know, pick your thing. And now you're complimenting them. You're giving them something constructive to aim toward. And then, if you go to class that second day, it's Tuesday today, let's say you attended their class, and then you go to the Wednesday class as a coach, they know that you know the game, and you say, hey, we talked about cool downs yesterday. You did a cool down today. Freaking great job. That's going to get so much more buy-in than like at a coaches meeting once a month, or like, like pick your example of not reinforcing good behavior. We're all about.
And here's one of the things that Brian and I and Jamie right now, we've talked about all of this, and none of it has anything to do with feelings.
Mm-hmm.
There's
no personal.
There's
you shouldn't be taking
personal.
anything personal.
Like, even my comment to my coach it doesn't mean I don't love her as a coach. She's amazing as a coach, and I'm grateful to have her, especially given her background and her experience. There's nothing personal about it at all. It's simply you're an amazing tool in this shed that we have here to cure chronic disease and change people's lives through fitness. And I want to maximize your potential. And that's all it is. And there's nothing personal about it at all. I'll give you the personal stuff when we're behind closed doors and we're doing your review, and or at the end of the year when we do bonuses, all that stuff. Right? Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate and I think another takeaway for affiliate owners that watch us is like, Brian is not, and this is why I think one of the reasons why we got along so well and hit it off right away. Brian doesn't take his foot off the gas for anything. No, whether it's like how his facilities look, the cleanliness of his facilities, how the customers are being treated, and then what his coaches are doing on the floor. And then the result is he's got, a very good affiliate in a town with 90,000 people in it, in Merced, California. We've got, almost 10x that in this area. Mm-hmm. And, there's other CrossFits here, but if you divide it up, I've still got a population base and an income base that's way above yours. And you're killing it with the processes, procedures, the thoughtfulness, the details, all of those things that I think affiliate owners, especially after a number of years, they get
lax,
fatigued, tired.
I think the fatigue comes from not having the why, though. So, like, for example, if you're going to be really into exercise, that's pretty nerdy. Like, let's be honest here, guys. We are really over enthusiastic about exercise because we know things about exercise science that is actually life changing.
Yeah.
We need to share that more often. We need to go back in with all, because, for example, I imagine that you guys nerded out on the journal, like myself, like a lot.
Yes.
The journal doesn't really exist anymore. What we actually have is volume of information. And we're in this podcast included in that. If you wanted to veg out on CrossFit podcast for the next 365 days, 8 hours a day, you would not be lacking.
Yeah.
But the quality of that is not nearly the same as 4 written out pages from the CrossFit Journal 2007. Just the density of information that was being provided to us in these really digestible ways, it's just different now. And it's on us. It's absolutely on us to bring that back into the fold so that our new members understand the 10 general skills, or understand the metabolic pathways, or understand quarter extremity engagement. Why are we doing what we do? Because fitness is different now. Yeah, absolutely. You can go into an InShape or a City Fit or whatever local global gym franchise you have around you and see the classics, bis and tris, backs and bis, cardio days. You absolutely will find that. But they also have bumper plates, and they also have kettlebells, and they have pull-up rigs, and you'll see kipping pull-up outside, and they've got all this resources. But what they don't have is the why, the hows, the what. So it's on the coaching staff or the affiliate model to get out there as education resources to get people fired up again. Get fired up about Metcons and couplets and triplets and chippers.
It is
and the
strength
why.
days. Every day.
This is something that I've kind of over the last 6 months, well, maybe over the last year, kind of taken on myself. And now I'm kind of like, it's gelling into a thought process in my mind that it is up to us.
Yeah.
The affiliate owners. We can look to CrossFit HQ and say, hey, you need to, you need to. And, for me, being 17 years into this affiliate owner, there's I've told them before, and it's been repeated. Don't fuck it up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Make sure the brand, there's good content there that we can refer to. I can get access to that content and make the brand break because it's up to us. We get 14,000 or 13,000 affiliate owners out there with all of their customers and all of their members. And I want to make it incumbent upon my members. And it was a message in my email this last week. It's up to us, meaning our members too, to tell their family and friends. You don't have to be preaching to people across the Thanksgiving table about it.
Yeah.
But when you're asked,
although you can,
when you're asked about it because they notice you're moving better, or they notice that you're in better shape, or they notice that you're physically fit, and everybody notices when you get fit
or genuinely happier.
Yes. And then tell them why. And really, as a minimum, all you have to do is say, go visit your local CrossFit affiliate. Yeah, just go visit to start. If nothing else, just say, hey, it's hard to explain CrossFit. There's a lot to CrossFit. It's amazing, but just do this. Go visit a local CrossFit affiliate, and let's just start there.
Yeah.
And
Ben Bergeron just recently posted how we lose most members within the first 90 days, and how there should be this.
I thought about that this morning. That's funny you say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have what we call the 180-day journey, absolutely stolen from our mentorship program at Best Hour of Their Day in Affiliate University. But the 180-day journey is super uncomplicated. You just really interesting thing. Text the person that just joined. So you text them on the first day, tell them a good job. You text them on the second day, when do I see you again? You text them at day 7, great job on your first week. And what you're doing is you're creating, I'm sure this has happened to you guys too. You ever just have to text somebody or call them because their credit card information didn't go through? And that was the first line of communication you ever had with them? That
yeah,
sucks,
that's
right?
that's
That
not a good one.
right? So what you do in the reverse, you reverse engineer that. You have 15 excellent interactions, personal interactions with them where you're texting or calling or emailing back and forth, and you create a relationship. Now, all you've done, now there's a system to it. There's a system of prioritization of who gets the communications, but the communication is genuine. And then when you do that, even at 200 members, I'm doing it 200 members. It's super not complicated. All you have to do is give a shit. And then all the credit card information to go through. All right, well, you've already texted back and forth 45 times. Hey, Carol Lee, your credit card expired last month, so your membership dues didn't come through. Can I get the new card? That is a way different interaction than someone who hasn't been showing up, and then you tell them their credit card information to go through, and then they're like, you know what? Actually, I'm about 60 days into this. I cancel. Totally different conversation. Because like you mentioned just a moment ago, how do you feel upstairs? I'm entirely convinced of this. Adults are never told good job. The only time they're ever told good job is when they were doing a hang power clean and the coach went over to them and said, hey, good job with your hip extension. Hey, great front rack position. That's the only time all day long for the whole 24 hours that somebody told them good job. And so that's why they're actually coming into my CrossFit gym. It's because I make them feel seen. And once I do that, all of a sudden they've got good cardiovascular endurance and their thighs look great. And now they're hooked. But they actually stayed. They actually stayed because of the first few weeks they realized this coach is actually a mentor. Yeah. And now they've got somebody in their corner for the first time in who knows how long.
It's like they understand that it's more than just a gym.
Right. Yeah, because why would you pay $100 and something for just a gym? Yeah. Like we just said, the Globo gym has bumper plates. So what you have to really buy in on is what Nicole Carroll has been talking about. CrossFit plus community is the force multiplier. That's what we're selling. That's what we're really actually doing is you're building communities. There's leadership, there's tiers to this thing. It's not entirely understood why it actually works, but there's a reason why churches worked back in the day. There's a reason why YMCA was a big deal. That's why Boys and Girls Club works. We're Boys and Girls Club. Like
we are.
Let's just be it. Let's own it.
Man, having you on is giving me anxiety. Like no other, like no one else.
Anxiety or encouragement?
Yeah, well, that too. But it's anxiety. Like, oh man,
like I should have thought of this.
I would be embarrassed to go through the last year communications with our customers and look at how many times the first communication that they had from us was because their credit card wasn't going through. I'm thinking about it and I was going, really? Are we that guy? Yeah, we are that guy.
And
but I'm instantly, I'm writing these things down because this is one of the things, because I saw that Bergeron post and I've thought about that as we go through. My wife goes through the cancellations and we talk about them and we're like, what? Okay, damn, what? They didn't finish their startup program? Shit. And I don't, and I'm going to admit it right now, like we don't have a really systematized process for communication with our customers during the first 3 months that they're on board, and that is the most vulnerable time.
It really just kind of comes down to like their startup and whoever is running their startups. Like that's essentially who's that point of contact.
We do 6 PTs for a startup, Brian.
Yeah.
I will tell you the tactical way to do this. This is the tactical system. All right, go to todolist.com or Trello. Make a Trello board, then on the calendar, it's an extra step. You do their name with their phone number on 1 day, 2 days, 7 days, 14 days, 28 days, 31 days, 2 months, 3 months, 45 days. And every time they come up on your list, and they will every morning, you send them something nice. And hopefully you've been present enough to give them a tangible, real thing that makes it unautomated. Nothing is automated. Everything is genuine. The only thing that's automated is that you are supposed to communicate with Sally Sue today. And then you do that. And it takes 15 seconds. And you absolutely 100% make them feel seen. You make them feel wanted, and I bet you they're coming in. And if they're coming in, they're going to come in tomorrow because your class is kick ass. And they're like, yeah, just feel better.
Related to this, why I know this works is because our members do that with other members, right?
Yeah.
So they get their right. I know if I can get them into class and they get hooked into their group of people, they start texting each other. Hey, you come to class tomorrow? We're doing class tomorrow. And
start doing stuff outside.
Dude, when there's they start doing stuff. But then when there's a special event at the gym, like the Amazing Grace or something like that, hey, we're all wearing this color shirt.
Yeah.
And they'll come in and
real.
Yes, yeah. That's good. When I see that one, it makes my heart feel good because I've helped create a relationship that's going to be maybe a lifetime relationship with a friend that has a common interest, and we know when the common interest is fitness and nutrition, great things are going to happen. That's that magic.
Yeah,
this is absolutely what we are cultivating. If CrossFit Diablo is people's space, and I know for sure it is, then just own it. Like you don't even have to be the I would argue that there's some runaway trains of communities in here that I am not even really a part of.
Yes.
Like our 6:30 thing, our 6:30 p.m. thing, like they like me. They understand that like I keep the doors open and the lights on, but they are their own monster. And they're super inviting because they want more people to be part of their monster. Yeah. And so because I come in and act like this all the time, and I'm kind and I shake people's hands and I look them in the eyeballs and I genuinely ask how they're doing, all of a sudden people where that wasn't their base instinct of emotions, the culture makes it so they are now all of a sudden just a little bit more emotionally intelligent. I'm not saying you have to be extroverted. You just have to be part of that system. No earbuds in class. Like you participate in class. You participate in all the portions of class. You buy into the methodology of why we're doing things when we do them. You know what cherry picking means and why we're trying to avoid things like that.
Yeah.
Why we embrace the things that we're hard at, and we sometimes let you dial in on the things that you love. And so when they get into that idea, I don't have to preach about it all the time. Yeah. Either my coaches will or my leaders will.
A defining moment in the career of an affiliate owner, a breakthrough moment for an affiliate owner that is also a little bit painful, is the first time they open social media and they see a group of their members out doing something really fucking fun, and they didn't know a thing about it. And I've had affiliate owners reach out to me and like be upset that those kinds of things happen. Like they didn't invite me. I might go, and one of my coaches was there and I didn't get invited. And I said, first of all, when you get to my age, it's a bit of a relief. But second of all, that's the community that is going to bring them back in tomorrow to your gym.
I was gonna say, as an
affiliate, do you really want to go to all the things?
No, exactly. Right, as we get older,
spread yourself thin. You have no life otherwise.
As we get older, so well, you're saying like, but that's a defining one. It's a real big.
I would also argue that it's important that you realize that you're a dad. Like you could be a 23-year-old affiliate owner and really murky the waters of your voice because you got drunk, right? You got too drunk, right? Like I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying that it might mess with your voice of authority when you really do need to mentor somebody. When they really actually want what they don't need a friend, right? Well, as a coach, you lose it a little bit. Not every coach, but if you're the affiliate owner, you're the community, but you're not in the community. There's a version of you that should always sort of be mentoral. I don't know if that's a real word, but there should be a level of authority in your voice so that when you do tell people the hard things, like, hey, the reason why I think you're feeling a little bit stagnant right now is because of alcohol. I don't know, pick your thing. Have you considered some dietary stuff right now? You've got this gym habit. Great gym habit. I'm so proud of you. I know that you're getting frustrated because there's a plateau that you've hit, right? Am I right? And they're like, yeah. It's frustrating me. And then you're like, all right, well, then you do da 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 da. That's as much part of demonstration as, say, a 6 principles on the floor. You have to demonstrate that there's a path. There's a path forward. And if you want this health and wellness thing, this CrossFit elite, forging elite fitness, it comes with a version of you that is going to include sacrifice. And at the affiliate owner level, that sacrifice might look like you got boys in the gym, but you're not everybody's boy, right? You gotta be
that is
dad.
That's one of that is, and I went through this, and so did my former partner. We went through this. It's really one of the hard things, because these are, especially when you're getting started, these are really cool people that you want to hang out with, and you want to be friends with, you want to do stuff with, and they're going to draw you in and to be inclusive, you're going to participate, but you've accepted a responsibility as an affiliate owner, and you've got an entire community to lead. And if you compromise your leadership with behavior that doesn't represent what we value in CrossFit, it does. Look, it's going to happen. Don't
absolutely. We're not. Nobody's a saint.
But keep falling back on the fact that this is the job that you've accepted. This is the role you've accepted. You're changing lives, and every time you do it, it diminishes that authority just a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
That also impacts on coaches too, not necessarily just the affiliate owner.
Well said. Exactly. That's right. Yeah. Wow. That's a good one.
I like the word responsibility, because of if you can subdivide that word. So as CrossFitters, you have a responsibility. So you because you are able-bodied, be it father, a mother, a leader, a mentor, whatever, a coach, whatever, an athlete who has a life outside, because you are now more able-bodied mentally, physically, emotionally, now you have a responsibility. You have responsibility. So even though you didn't choose particularly to be responsible for XYZ, because you are able to, there's almost a mandate that you do it. So if you're going to be a great dad, you have responsibility. Well, we all saw that video of the mother fall down while the cart went streaming toward traffic. She had no responsibility, but she had responsibility to that child. Thank God that Good Samaritan comes out of nowhere. So if we're going to make great communities and a better society, I just wish more people understood what responsibility meant.
Yeah.
You have to be able to respond, be it in life, be it in your profession, as an affiliate owner, as a paramedic, as a firefighter, as a police officer, as a military personnel. That's who really owned CrossFit to begin with, because they understood responsibility. They understood that they needed to be able-bodied and they had to be sound of mind, so they go and execute whatever task they had in front of them. But once you subdivide that word, God, it just fires me up,
No question. You want to be a better mother. You want to be a better father. You want to be a better teacher. You want to be a better doctor. You want to be a better athlete. That's what CrossFit does. That's what, health. That's what nutrition and fitness combined will do for you. It'll make you better at all of those things.
Make you more able.
More responsible about your sleep. You're more responsible about the food you eat, what you ingest, both with your eyeballs and with your mouth. What do you listen to? All of these things are just teaching people ownership. And if you just, the ability to respond. So how do you do that? How well do you execute it? So that's like my marching orders lately. That's what's inside my brain all the time. You have responsibility. You have responsibility. Freaking do it.
Just a couple quick questions. How are you on time, by the way? You okay on time right now?
I have we are in open gym right now, so I'm available till noon, but I imagine you guys don't want to talk for 3 hours.
Yeah, we'll go a few more minutes here, because I did want to come back to the open as we have that coming up in February.
That's great.
And then getting does your community participate? Do you guys do Friday Night Lights? And then you talked about, you have some athletes that are Well, you'll probably have more athletes now
Yeah.
that it's 25% moving on to the next level. Do you have kind of
I'll have a lot more.
do you have a plan for that process as well? How do you guys approach the open and do the open?
So first off, I actually really did like quarterfinals at 90%. I'm an 89th percentile CrossFit athlete, so it really by the way they did it, it gave me this really awesome cookie on a personal level to chase
Mhm.
after. I had missed it 89th percentile, and then I made it last year as a 90th percentile.
Nice.
And so I really did enjoy that. So I was a little butthurt when they went to 75% because it diluted my own effort. It was my personal championship for
Yeah.
sure. Even
So
though
you're one of those guys who say, "Hey, I made it when it was 90%."
yeah, 100,
Back in my
100%. Yes, back in my day. So I did. So that's just so for the me types, you know, the I'm good enough that you got to take me seriously, but if you're any good at exercise or you kick my butt, I'm that guy. And so
Well said.
in regards to the open and then the additional, like basically open 2.0 that they're going to do, I don't hate it. I did like 3 weeks, but I also like 5 weeks. If you do the math, 5 weeks was 10% of the year. If you just get rid of Christmas and you get rid of the New Year week, there's about 50 months in the year. We were doing 5 weeks. That's 10% of your total programming. That's a little bit of a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And to program, my wife and I program for Mid-State, so it's a little bit convoluted when it gets to that time, and we're doing like these weird, like we're probably going to get it wrong workouts. And so I did like 3 weeks because the percentile is a lot less across the course of a year's program.
Yeah, right.
I do like the idea, though, that the top 25% of my gym that makes it, they're the ones that care anyway. You know, so I get to sort of like drop off the 75%. They're like, I don't even know what we're doing. What is this? Why does the schedule change all of a sudden for Friday Night Lights? Because we do Friday Night Lights. And like, what is this? I get to sort of like give love and affection to the top 25% of my gym now. And like, I don't know exactly how I'm going to navigate that, but that's kind of where my brain goes. Like, if you're going to make them pay another $20 or whatever it is that it is, so that they can participate on this thing, maybe I can make it a little bit more of an in-house comp. I know there's a company out there that does stuff like that. They're escaping me right now. But like, they're not going anywhere. But if I can have an additional little in-house comp for my top 25%, so we're talking about like 50 members, that would want to do this, if I can get buy-in from them, I think it actually might be a pretty cool experience. Because earlier in our conversation, we were talking about how to love on the new person to get through that first 90 days. This might be a really great opportunity to kind of turn that angle of want and put it on my people that have been with me, the people that I've coached, that were like, I can't tell them to do hip extension anymore. I got to explain to them what they're doing and how to make that 1% or 2% improvement. This might be a great opportunity for me to really coach my advanced athletes. So that's where my head goes. I don't know at the HQ level how the hell they're going to pull that off, but that's not my problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you guys do Friday Night Lights?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
We used to do Saturdays, but I just like old gangster stuff. If it worked in 2012, it should work in 2023. So back in the day, Friday Night Lights was the fun thing to do, and we should expose anybody that's new to CrossFit to all the fun that we got addicted to.
Yeah.
Do they do?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Do you do themes, theme nights, anything like that with your Friday Night Lights? Food, anything?
We did a color war last year. I felt like that fell a little flat. We do color wars for our anniversary week. We call it the Mid-State Liftoff. It's just a complete steal of the liftoff that CrossFit did back in the day.
Oh, cool.
That always goes really, 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 really well. That goes really well. But I found that the open is too disconnected Friday to keep the color war going. So we're gonna do things probably more like Van Halen and 90s hip hop night and be silly thing, and just let that be a bit more thematic and allow people, or not, just all right, guys, we're going to Friday Night Lights, and on the last night we're gonna do potluck and beers or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You said
Usually the end of the Open is celebratory.
You said so quarterfinals into semifinals. Just this is the part I wanted to understand too. You said you had essentially a system for video recording. You're going to have a lot more people going through now and combining.
Yeah,
they're combining the age groups.
So the last few years,
right?
It was open on its own, teams on its own,
right?
Age group on its own, and then adaptive were with the age group. I think this year it's the open, it's the age group, all the ages, and then there's the team separate.
Yeah,
team is I think the adaptive.
I'm gonna have a conversation with everybody who makes it. I'm gonna look them dead in the eyes, and I'm gonna say, "Do you want to do it all, or do you want to do it for fun?" And if they say, "I want to do it all," then I will make that sacrifice and do everything they need to as a coach to show them that I care about their passions and double down on that. And if they say, "I just want to do it for fun," then I'm going to say, then you're just going to do it, and we're going to push Dan. So we're all going to do it, but I'm not going to record you. And they're going to say, "Thanks, coach." And I hope it is as simple as that.
Okay.
One less floor pan to set up.
And I guess you can sign up and you can submit a score without video.
I don't know. Last year you had to have video on the
Well, I would think they would allow that. In other words, allow that to happen so that and then if they have to video review you, for example, if you have a score that somehow ends up in the top 20 or something, and they got to look, and there's no video, then you just get your score gets invalidated.
Yeah,
I would even argue, because it's going to be the top 40 men and the top 40 women, that like the chances of you send, unless CrossFit Diablo is really going to send somebody, and Mid-State CrossFit isn't, to the semifinals in Pasadena or wherever they send them, wherever they're going to go. Then I would just do the math yourself and create a little in-house leaderboard. And now all you've created is just a really great opportunity for shit talking. And no one motivates better than a top 25 CrossFitter who's having just the right amount of laughter and shit talking happening in their general direction. And so like, it does not, CrossFit is giving us a gift, and that gift is motivating your advanced athletes who don't get enough love anyway. Frankie's over there, he's crushing it, he'll be back tomorrow, and you never think anything of it. Well, now you have an opportunity to coach them, that you get to show them your expertise that you've been, just maybe not giving enough to them. Give them a strategy. Hey, like, I've been watching some of these extra stuff beyond the whiteboards, whatever Sherwood's come up with, and like, I think you should do this. Or like, thinking about your strengths, I actually think you should do this and then do this. And like,
that's a really good perspective.
Yeah, it's just going to give you a great opportunity to be with your community.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They ain't going.
Right.
Friggin' Medeiros is going.
Right.
You don't have a spot. It's already claimed.
it's and they know that too.
Yeah,
of course they do.
But then those that might
those that might be going, like you said, then I'm going to give you my all as a coach in a gym.
Absolutely.
But then you also get to use them as an example of, like holding true standards. Like, this is what you need to do, because upon video review, they will pull that stuff, and like everybody else seeing that is another chance to, like you said, teach at quality standards.
This is my kind of call to action to the community that pulls up these videos and rebroadcasts them. I won't name any names, but it rhymes with Tiller. Is that they need to, I think it's incumbent upon them to help further the sport, not attack this by attacking the sport. So in other words, take the opportunity to produce content ahead of time that will help the community do better during the open and during the quarterfinals and semifinals. Put it out there. Hey, here's an example of how to do it right.
Yeah.
For each time the workouts are announced, hey, here's the things that you guys should be looking for, and CrossFit will be looking for, and that the community wants to see from you when you do these videos. And if it's not meeting this standard, your chances are you're going to get pulled, or you may even get called out by me.
Yeah.
But I think we can really help the process. Affiliate owners can help the process by holding those standards in their affiliate.
I find he who shall not be mentioned wildly interesting in the space, because like we were talking about the other day, Craig, no one knows what CrossFit is. Only purebred, like no sugar eating CrossFitters really deeply are concerned about the nuanced stuff that Voldemort is bringing up. And I actually really like Killer Fit, because I'm an extroverted Bostonian and he's an extroverted Chicagoan. And honestly, it's the same personality, just a little bit of calling bullshit. And because he has such an his grab on the community is significant. And it's a little bit of a Debbie Downer type, but I see what he's doing. And if you just understood Boston MFering, you would understand Hiller a little bit more. He's just calling it the way he sees it.
Yes.
And I'll be very clear. No one knows who Hiller Fit is. Like, nobody knows what CrossFit even is. No one. If they want 30 million Americans to do CrossFit, do you know how many people don't even know what CrossFit means? So we don't need to worry about what Andrew Hiller is saying. We need to get out into the public and let them and explain to them what Diablo CrossFit is. And if you can explain them to what Diablo CrossFit is, and you even get them remotely interested enough to care about what Hiller's saying, then you have wildly succeeded.
Yeah.
You have wildly succeeded if you can get somebody to get addicted to Hiller Fit videos.
That's pretty interesting. That's good perspective. We lose that perspective because we're deeply mired in the content ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so we make that irrational assumption that everybody else is too, which they're not. And that
they're not. No one gives a shit. This is a very nerdy. I think us becoming a strong man sort of forever branding is very likely. We are not baseball. That's
another great analogy. I think strongman is a great analogy to this.
It's great. It's gonna
be there forever.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
But we're not. But I think that 30 million Americans really can do CrossFit and can really say that.
Sure.
And if bodybuilding can be as synonymous with gym participation as it is, there's absolutely zero reason why you can't just be, I'm a CrossFitter. Because people aren't saying CrossFit HQ. They're talking about an exercise style. And so that's where
I've had this thought as well, especially when they someone put up the graphics, Craig Ritchie, and then Hiller put up the graphics of the declining. Google. Well, you can pull that up for powerlifting, you can pull that up for strongman, you can pull it up for bodybuilding, and they're going to look the same, especially as it becomes more ubiquitous, more common.
Ubiquitous. That's the word I was looking for, actually.
Yeah. So then people aren't going to Google because they already know, and they already know where to go.
Yeah.
Right. People aren't doing this. And I think that the hero and the people that we affiliate owners ought to represent and look to is the guys like Joe Nels, who was at Kenosha CrossFit, who did the 30 days where he went out and he went into Walmart and told people, just started talking about CrossFit. Stood on the
corner of
his video stream. His video stream is unbelievable. Stood on the middle of the street with street signs, and it was handing out cards as cars honked, and he added, the guy added 27 members in a month.
It's awesome.
Just going out. I mean, that takes a ton of gumption.
Yeah.
But is it though? Like, if you can go out there and dress up as like a crow suit to get your taxes done, then why wouldn't we want to be a small business owners? Dead serious. If we really gave a shit, we would go out there. We would go out there and be like, I have a solution to your diabetes.
Yes.
Like I have a solution to your suicidal ideation. It looks like hard work, But I tell you what, you're going to find a friend and they're going to want to do it with you. And you're going to start talking smack to one another. And you're going to exchange each other's numbers. And then you're going to do that for way longer than you expected. And then all of a sudden you're going to look up one day and be like, I have a life. Like I have, I'm doing
I feel amazing.
Yeah. Like, so there's so many failing affiliates that look to themselves and say, woe is me, instead of just saying, I have responsibilities and it's to keep the doors open and I'm going to have to go do some things that make me uncomfortable. Okay. You wanted the job. Go do the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to YouTube and type in Joe Nehls, and it's NEHLS as an affiliate owner, and watch, and that guy will make you feel like you are not worthy. What he's done and what he did is really remarkable. And I'd say it even himself. Speaking then the last topic I want to get it, and I'm sorry to keep you so long.
No, please. I'm fine.
The stuff you talk about, and this was on our phone call we had the other day too, very inspirational, and you're a motivator, and I look to you for motivation. I met you at the CrossFit Games. I listened to you speak to the camera right before I got up and spoke to the camera, which I shouldn't have. Like there's, you don't want to follow something. I even told them that because CrossFit was interviewing me. They had a couple questions, and I watched Brian go before me, and I was like, well, this guy sounds like a fucking professional.
He sounds like a flow master.
Yeah, he sounds like a flow master. He was so good. And I'm like, God. And then of course that was going over my head. I don't sound as good as Brian. I'm supposed to be better. I'm Diablo CrossFit. We've been around 17 years. And this guy, he was amazing. But one of the things he did for me, and that inspired me and made me kind of look within myself and what we're doing as a gym is, you talked about, you said, hey, have you heard of James Sharnick? I was like, no, I haven't heard James Sharnick. James Sharnick. He was the CrossFit coach, was a manager in a CrossFit in the Valley, and he basically was at mountain biking, crashed, drove his head into the ground. Paralyzed, quadriplegic, family, can't take care of himself. And he goes, and you said to me, and I've used these words now a lot more, it's up to us. No one else is going to come help this guy. It's up to us, because he doesn't have the capacity to take care of himself. He doesn't have the funds. He's got his family's taking care of himself. We have to do something. And I was like, okay, I'll see what I can do. So then I went home, I Googled it, and then I watched his podcast that he did with Savon, which was really powerful. And my wife and I watched it, and we're like, we got to do something for this guy. Mm-hmm. And so then we did our annual fundraiser. We dedicated and gave the funds, which you had done already a month before, 2 months before. And so I wanted to thank you for that, for calling me out. And that's what we have to do as affiliate owners, is lead, and set an example for other affiliate owners, and then continually call them to action for this amazing thing that we're doing with CrossFit. And instead of looking to CrossFit HQ to lead the way, we're the ones. CrossFit HQ does not have as much influence and pull in the world as we do, as 13,000 affiliate owners with hundreds of members.
Affiliates are the front line.
We're out here. If we can influence, if Brian can influence me, Brian influenced me. Yeah. Just to put it in perspective, Brian influenced me. I put it out there. I got. We had 200 or so members come in and do this workout. They all know who James Sharnick is now. Yeah. Now we got 200 more people doing this. Yep. And then they're telling their friends, they're putting it on their Instagram, their social media. And that's how it works with the affiliate owners. Mm-hmm. We're the ones that can influence change. We're the ones that can make CrossFit what it's supposed to, what we want it to be, instead of demanding that CrossFit do it. And CrossFit will take it up.
There's no such thing as central leadership in anything successfully pulling anything off. Ask any soldier, ask every federal employee, ask every state employee in Sacramento, how's it going? Are you getting barking orders from the top? The answer is no. It's all about area of influence and control. And you can expand that and contract that all you want, depending on whatever book you read or whatever portion of society you're in. But it's all about the people you're with right in front of you, executing on simple tasks. And when I don't know James really all that well, like we've only spoken briefly. but I know a lot about spinal cord injuries. And the moment that happened, I just felt a need to do something. I just needed, I had to get something out of me. And so when we created 3 claps and 3 slaps for James, we were very candid with them. We don't know what we're going to do, but we want to do something. And they were like, okay, well, here's his birthday wad from last year. And he likes to do this 3 claps, 3 slaps at the whiteboard to just keep people's like mindsets right. I was like, okay, well, that's the name of the thing, 3 claps, 3 slaps for James. And so it was all very organic, and it was really, and then one of my coaches, she owns a screen printing business. So we sold t-shirts. So it's all very bootstrapped, and we're not going to fix him, but if I can just get groceries on the table or some gas in the tanks, like he's got teenage kids and I've got young children, but I can't imagine what good James will be able to do from a wheelchair for the rest of his life because of this incident, this thing that happened to him. And I just really hope that as he heals, and it can take years, that one day James just like rises from the ashes and he's like, I'm an adaptive athlete. Watch me do some bicep curls or whatever the hell he does. It doesn't even matter. I don't want to put any extra pressure on him than he needs, but I want the world to know that if we're going to be the third space, if the world's gone secular, and it has, that CrossFit gyms are the replacement of all the other things. And you can be as culture or culty or churchy as you want to be. But the fact is that people need people. Yeah. And if we're going to be the place where people come together and exercise, and that has replaced scripture and prayer, well then cool, whatever, I'm down for whatever. And now we can take the responsibilities that those churches used to have, and now we're just CrossFit gyms doing it. But that is really, churches are emptied and CrossFit gyms are full.
Yeah, we're the lifeboat for community. We're the lifeboat for community, not only curing chronic disease, right? But we're the lifeboat for community. I 100% agree with that.
Every gym's got somebody with cancer. Every gym's got somebody with a bad luck. And it's not good luck. It's not bad luck. It's just CrossFit Journal luck. It happens. But if you can hedge yourself, not only with fitness, but with community, well, now you really are a lifeboat, because it's not just your health that's the lifeboat. It's the people you surrounded yourself with, and they know how hard you've been working. And so they want you to be safe or happy or, at least taken care of. So let's just do that. Like, I don't know. I don't see it to be complicated.
No, it's not.
If you're,
it's not, and it's up to us. And we can do it. Dude, hour and 20 minutes. I really appreciate the time and the words. I'm motivated. I was taking notes, especially if you're talking about the process, and I love that. And that's by the way, the power, not to get back into get preaching again, but that's the power of talking to other affiliate owners. You're gonna pick up something that you're not doing. You can have the best affiliate in the world, and you're gonna pick up stuff from other affiliate owners.
Leverage the network.
Yeah, leverage the network. It's so powerful. That was the old message boards that that we all used to participate in, and I think
miss them.
Yeah, go ahead.
I miss them.
Yeah, I know. I do miss the message boards too. I talk about that. Is there some format that we can get into? Something we could do that's similar to message boards and not Slack?
I see that you guys are sponsored by Doc Spartan, and they are also, or have been in the past, sponsors for Best Hour of Their Day and Affiliate University. And I want to make it very clear that I'm a paramedic by trade, and I didn't know my ass from my elbow as an affiliate owner or as a leader, and they greatly helped me at least find my voice. I've always been like this, but I didn't know how to sharpen my edge as an affiliate owner. So if anybody's really struggling, and just consider a mentor. It doesnn't have to be affiliate university, though I absolutely advocate for them and am still a client of theirs to this day. But we are in an ecosystem now where CrossFit really actually does want to take care of the affiliates, and be it like Best Hour of Their Day or Two Brain or whatever system works best for you, or finding a mentor that's already done things that you want to emulate, reach out to the Craigs of the world, reach out to the, whomever. And what did you do? It seems like you've got your shit together. How can you help me get mine together?
Yep.
And so there's no reason not to ask for help. And if you need something more significant, they're absolutely the CrossFit toolkit. Use it. Do the thing. It's all there for you.
Well
but you have
said.
to want to. You have to want to.
I put a link in the comments for anybody that's affiliate university, and I know Fern, he's a great guy, and he's got a good team of people. So that's awesome.
Yeah, big fan.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for being on today, and appreciate your time. And
Yeah,
I look
thank
forward,
you.
Brian. I really do look forward to lots of conversations with you going down the road.
If you guys want me on again, I'll talk about some other shit.
Oh yeah,
Sorry, customer.
definitely.
It's just
No, that's good. I warned Jamie.
No, this was awesome. This was a lot of really informative and encouraging stuff. So,
Yeah.
How come
Thank
there's
you.
always a Jamie working the back of the microphone on a podcast?
I know,
Why is
right?
that- yeah, why is that?
He runs the board too. Yep.
practice.
All right,
All right.
cool.
Happy
Thanks,
Tuesday,
guys.
Till next time.
Yeah.